Hello and welcome to this episode of the Cinema Flow podcast. My name is Zach Abdelbaki, and today I'm joined by two very special guests. First up, she is one of the former co-hosts of the Film Stud Girls. It's Angelique Acuna. How you doing, Angelique?
Oh my gosh, hi. Thank you so much for having me, Zach. Very excited to be on here today. And it's my first time recording a podcast in like a very long time, I think post college. And it's been what, 3 years? So very happy to be here today.
Yeah, actually, the Film Stud Girls was one of the three podcasts that made me want to do my own podcast. So
You're too kind. You're too kind.
well, yeah, all those episodes are on YouTube, and I used to watch them all the time. So this is cool. And also joining us is Katie Isherwood. You know her from, if you listen to this podcast, she's been on a few times, and we made a movie called Creative Reasoning. How you doing, Katie?
Doing good, doing good. Happy to be here. How are you?
Good, good. And I'm very excited because today we're going to be reviewing The Naked Gun, which is a movie that I had been very excited for a very long time because it is a rare example of a big budget studio comedy, which we don't get a lot of these nowadays. And you all watched the movie last night. So before we get into it, just for those who don't know, The Naked Gun was a franchise back in the 80s and the 90s starring Leslie Nielsen. It's kind of a parody of cop movies. It's very silly and irreverent, and they decided to bring it back with Liam Neeson as the star, as Frank Drebin Jr., who is a detective who is trying to solve, like a mystery. And Pamela Anderson also stars in the movie as his love interest. And, the plot really doesn't matter in these movies. It's a lot more about the jokes. So I feel like the most important question is, was the movie funny? What did each of you think?
Okay, I can start, I guess. I really enjoyed it. I would say like I guess when it comes to my genres, like maybe like would this probably could be considered like slapstick comedy. Like I would say it's not really on the top of my genres. However, I really enjoyed this one. Like I had like it was a lot of funny laughs. It was um like kind of like just fun. And I feel like a lot of movies who can't like a lot of movies are not like just fun anymore, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Katie, what about you?
No, I second everything Angelique said. I think somebody mentioned last night, I forget who, but one of our friends said like, "Oh, we're finally coming out of the 2010s super serious movies." And this was definitely a great exit out of that time. And I appreciated that like it really didn't take itself seriously. It was just having a good time, and I think Liam Neeson was just such a great pick for the lead role.
Like, what was some of your favorite scenes in the movie?
I would say probably like the kitchen scene was my the funniest scene for me. Um, I also noticed too like the hidden background stuff. I think there is like a coffee with like a coffee bean being flicked, if you know that what that means, everyone. So that was really funny to me. I also like even when it comes to my favorite scenes, I also wanted to give a nod. Like when it comes to like a movie about LA, I feel like this movie is very like LA core. Like a lot of the scenes that they filmed in, or just like I even recognized like the car scene, like what street they were driving on. It was like Santa Monica Boulevard. Like they drove by the Arrow Theater. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I know that street. So and like and a lot, just a lot of like nods to just living like LA. It's like I felt like a movie that loved LA, but wasn't like necessarily like, yeah, this is an LA movie, if that makes sense.
I agree. I especially the LA point I think is a really good point to make, Anjali, because I think like there are other movies out there that make an LA movie and it's kind of sort of which is like a critique of Deadpool I have is that unless you're in the industry, there are half of those jokes that won't land for you. Which is like I think the bad type of like an LA or industry movie. This was the correct type where it's like it doesn't take away anything if you don't live in LA, but if you do live in LA, it's a love letter to LA a little bit, kind of like Lady Bird. You don't need to be from Sacramento to like that movie, but if you are, it adds an extra depth. But in terms of like my favorite scene, Broken Record, the kitchen scene got the most laughs from me. But I really loved the finale as well. I think this movie really stuck the ending. I think comedies sometimes have a hard time finding an ending point. And they don't always nail it. I think this movie nailed the ending.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, this movie was filmed in Georgia, but the LA, I know what you're talking about, and for the green screen, they filmed a lot of the plates in LA. So yeah, I did notice the Aero Theater as well. But I think they did a good job. Like, this is a movie that's filmed mostly on sound stages, I believe, and they didn't make it feel that way. You know, sometimes when you watch the Marvel movies, you can tell, like, okay, that's not really New York. But I think with this one, they sold LA pretty well. Do you think they'll make a sequel? I feel like that's the wrong lesson. I think that they should just make another great like this whole team should just make another great comedy. But what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they'll make a sequel to it. I think, yeah, it's another great comedy, but maybe seeing like Neeson and Pamela Anderson together again, because now, I mean, we don't, I mean, I like to be hopeful that they are a couple,
Right.
but
We haven't
they
talked
are a
about
couple
that.
now.
Yeah, there are rumors that they're dating, so
Wait,
go
in
ahead.
real
Yeah.
life?
Yeah.
And it'd be like the first partner Liam Neeson's been like public with since um, his wife that passed away like several years ago.
Wait, so it's exactly like the movie.
It is like the movie, and she passed away in 2009. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it was the mom from The Parent Trap, from Lindsay Lohan's Parent Trap, if you remember
Oh, yeah, I
that one.
remember. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was reading about an article this morning when I woke up of like, because like some people, of course, think it's like, oh, it's just to promote the movie. But I don't know, I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful too. They're very, very cute together in the movie. They have very good chemistry.
When it comes to the jokes of the movie, I think like the jokes, so even though some of them are like very niche, like I think they had like a Sex and the City joke in there about with Miranda rights. And like one person we saw it with, who I'm pretty sure they've never seen an episode of Sex and the City, like laughed really hard at that joke. And I was like, it was like, but like, you know, it's not one of those things like I think people would still laugh because it was done like so well with that Miranda rights joke, that like anyone could laugh at it because it was like executed so well. And even then, the person we saw it with, who's like very anti like comedy sometimes, was like, I loved it. Great movie. That was like I think it was I think I really loved how the movie was um very like accessible comedy that I think anyone could watch and enjoy just for a short time and then like be like, because yes, this person did say, "What a great comedy! I had so much fun." And then like a few minutes later was like, "Actually, I'm like still depressed. Like I'm so sad." It's like
Well,
that's
again,
what movies do. Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, my philosophy, like, as someone who wants to make comedy movies, is that, like, you're not going to cure someone's depression, but at least you can make them happy for 90 minutes.
hmm
Exactly.
Real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any anticipated movies for the rest of the year? Uh,
Yeah. Well, I'm someone I really like following film festivals like Cannes, um,
if,
Like the Venice Film Festival, and I think one that it's been on my radar was Sentimental Value, the new Trier movie. The same person who's done his last film was The Worst Person in the World. It's coming out the new film, and I'm really excited to see because I've heard a lot of like people. It didn't win the highest award, the Palme d'Or, but I know a lot of people who watched it said like it was a huge contender to win Palme d'Or. But even the Palme d'Or seems a really fun one to watch, and I'd be excited. I'm forgetting the name right now of the winner of the Palme d'Or, but I can look. While I'm looking up, Katie can talk about her most
yeah,
anticipated film.
I agree about Sentimental Value. I really loved Worst Person in the World. I actually thought that should have won the International Feature Award that year, and I'm very excited. I like the trailer. Katie, what about you?
I agree. I'm really anticipating Sentimental Value. Just because I had such a fun time. Like Worst Person in the World is one of my favorite rom-coms. I think it's just very nuanced and niche, but so well done and very well done. Because it is nuanced and niche. Um, I think I'm also really looking forward to Together, the new horror movie. Really looking forward to that. I am, as a Disney kid, looking forward to Zootopia 2 because I really do like that world. I think it's silly, goofy, fun. I'm also really looking forward to, though, I'm a huge Demon Slayer fan,
Mm.
and they ha are releasing Demon Slayer in theaters in the US in, I believe it's September. So I'm very excited to go see that because it's an arc of that show I'm been really excited to watch, and that anime just does so well globally, so I'm very happy for it.
Yeah, no, the last one made a ton of money. I think this one will too.
Yeah, the
Um,
last one
yeah,
was like one of my favorite. The train arc, Mugen Train arc is like one of my favorite movies of all time. So
yeah.
I'm very excited for this one.
Angelique, do you know the name of that Iranian movie that won the Palme d'Or? Did you find it?
Yeah, it was just an accident.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that too. And maybe it'll be in like the international contenders in the Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah, and like also like one thing I think I saw like when it won the Palme d'Or, I was following it so closely, all the Palme d'Or news. I think the movie was made illegally. Like they like very guerrilla styled. Like I think they went somewhere in a desert and just like filmed it.
Yeah, there are some Iranian movies that are that the government approves, like the Ministry of Culture and stuff, like the Asghar Farhadi movies, which he's one of my favorite directors. But this one was more controversial, so he had to make it rogue. And yeah, it's pretty brave of him to do that. I'm glad he got the Palme d'Or.
Yeah, I was gonna say one more movie because I know Zach is a musical fan. We have Wicked for Good coming out at the end of this year, and I'm really excited. As someone, I didn't think I would like Wicked like the first one, or like I remember watching it. I was like, it seems very just like commercial, but I guess I fell for the agenda. I loved it. So I'm excited for Good. Loved it. I love the cast. Loved the production design. Loved the music, so I'm excited to see what they do with. And I'm a huge Wizard of Oz girly in general, so I'm excited to see if they like show the Wizard of Oz story in this film.
I mean, in the play, they don't show like Dorothy or anything, like, you know,
Yeah,
but maybe they changed it, honestly, because it's much
that's
longer.
yeah. Yeah, that's what my thoughts exactly. Because I remember Forgood not being like, or I guess part two of Wicked or like Act Two not being that long. So I was like, maybe since they have to fill up what 2.5 hours of time, that they're probably might show. And they showed like scenes of like the silly little crew walking around.
True.
There's also theories of like maybe they might do the thing where like they only show like behind Dorothy's head, they won't show like Dorothy, but we'll see. I'd be fun because I love Wizard of Oz. Like I've had birthday parties dedicated for Wizard of Oz. I have like red shoes. I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan.
Yeah, you know, if they do show Dorothy, you know who should play her is the girl who was in the Matilda musical movie on Netflix. I loved that movie. So,
Yeah, I think there's a theory that like she was like casted. She like did like great PR, like basically whenever because I think there was a theory that like she was casted. I think some people are saying it's Maddie Ziegler, like the Dance Moms person, because I think the Barbie doll came out for Dorothy and it's modeled after Maddie Ziegler's face. But I guess we'll have to see when it happens.
well, what do you think is going to happen at the Oscars? Do you think that it could win Best Picture? Do you think it'll be nominated even? What do you think will? Quick
Well,
little.
to tie it back to Naked Gun, I think Naked Gun may not have potential to get into the Oscars, but I think Zach said this off mic was that I think it has potential to get like best comedy at the Golden Globes. So I do think Naked Gun could have potential to get up there. For Oscars, it's hard right now. I don't think a lot like it's not Oscar season yet. I do think if you look at the statistics of like Cannes being a really accurate like reflection of the nomination, so I do think like Sentimental Value might get a nod. It was just an accident, could get a nod. Like those because Anora won Best Picture last year and that won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Parasites won Best Picture, got the Palme d'Or at Cannes, so I think it's a very accurate look. Also, like the Venice International Film Festival will like will be happening, I guess, soon-ish. And Poor Things like won the Golden Lion there. But I think probably for Wicked for Good, I think could get a lot of nominations. I can see, Ariana Grande was a huge contestant to win Best Supporting Actress. It was between her and like I think when I say people, like, I'm not voting for the in the Academy, but like what I've heard online were people saying like it was a close race between Zoe Saldana and Ariana Grande. Um, and some people were like saying, well, like Ariana Grande's probably gonna get nominated like next year for good, so maybe they'll give it to Zoe Saldana. So I could see her like being a really good contender. Again, it's sometimes like you just never know. Like Wicked for Good was a commercially like successful movie and critically a pretty successful movie. So maybe they'll probably give it some things like costumes are probably still going to be really good. Production design is probably going to be really good. Sound design. So I think it also has potential to do really good. And a musical hasn't won Best Picture since like Chicago in 2001. Is that right?
Two.
2002. So you never know.
I think the front runner is Sinners to win Best Picture. But
You think so?
I think so. I think that in order to win Best Picture, it's got to check a few boxes. It's got to be commercially successful, critically successful, and it's got to have some societal relevance. I
Mhm.
love Wicked, and I think actually Wicked 2 is going to have a lot of societal relevance, but I think people still are going to see it as a franchise movie. So I think
Mm.
Sinners might check all the boxes. But yeah, what are your favorites of the year?
Black Bag was my favorite of the year.
Steven Soderbergh
Yeah.
and David Kemp.
I just think it was, I'm normally not a huge, I do like spy movies, but they're normally not my bread and butter. I enjoy them, but I usually don't think very deeply about them. Besides like a few, there have been a few in the past that have really, I think, knocked out of the park. I mean, Mission Impossible is obviously very fun and stuff like that, but I think Black Bag, it did kind of take me by surprise. I walked in blind, not knowing anything, and I think the acting was so well done and the writing so good that each time I watch it, I get something new out of it. Kind of like what you were saying about Naked Gun too. So I got the most enjoyment out of that. I think Sinners is great, but surprisingly enough, over a long period of time, I keep forgetting about it.
But yeah, but my favorite is probably Sorry Baby. I just love I love
We all
Zach's
watched that
looking at me.
together.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually my
Zach's
second
looking at me with a
favorite movie
surprised
of the
face.
year. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I would say like that when it comes to like if we're talking about Oscar potential with Sorry Baby, that could go either way. Like it could be like because I think it is it's I think it could get maybe a screenwriting nod if it really pushes, but I don't think anything else. I would love to see it get more recognition. I do think I think it's still limited release right now, or if it is released everywhere, it's like I don't think a lot of people are seeing it, but it did well at Sundance. Like I had that movie on my radar since January because I, as I mentioned earlier, I love following like what's going on in film festivals. Like Together was also a big one that premiered at Sundance. And Sorry Baby, like everyone kept saying like if you see any movie, like Sorry Baby is probably the best one. So really enjoyed it. Like I recommend it. I think it's captures like a good vibe despite like the really heavy subject matter, but I still think it's just very human, very real, and I feel the characters are very real people. And yeah, so I think it's a quiet favorite, as in like it's not like really doing anything like different, but it's still a movie with a lot of heart.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that because the three of us watched that movie together. So I'm glad that it stayed with you. I really liked it. I don't I mean maybe screenplay nomination. I think it'll do well at like Indie Spirit Awards also. And yeah, I hope more people check it out because I think it deserves a lot of support. It's an original movie, first time director. Uh, my favorite of the year, Naked Gun. And I'd
Oh my
say
gosh.
Naked Gun and Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Anyway, thank you both for coming on the podcast.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an honor to have one of the film stud girls finally join the show.
No biggie, no biggie.
Been on my bucket list for a while. Anyway,
Okay, bucket list. But hopefully, who knows? Maybe we'll get all the OG film set girls on the podcast sometime.
yes. Send this episode to both of them, and then they'll see, oh, okay, yeah, let's finally do this. Because
Hmm.
that's definitely on my bucket list. I mean,
Hmm.
and everyone go back and watch those episodes because they're good.
Oh, thank you. I sound very different and very different point in my life, but they're fun still to watch.
Yeah. Okay, well, uh, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Cinema Flow podcast. Please rate us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and click subscribe. And we'll be back next week with more fun movie chats. But until then, stay safe and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
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 Yippee, yippee, yippee.